what a finish! I mean, you must all be, to say the bloody obvious, be gutted.
Yeah, absolutely, Scott. I think at the minute, pretty raw emotion and huge disappointment getting to the position we got to, which even with sort of 10 overs out, I didn't necessarily see it coming. But obviously, once you get to that position, going into the last over, you're going to close out, I don't know, 49 out of 50 of them games, really. So, thought I'd seen it all, but I obviously haven't. So, yeah, at the minute, everyone's pretty gutted, yeah.
Look, it's not a pointing finger job, is it? But because these things can happen, can't they? Is there anything that you think you could have done better? Or?
Well, yeah, of course. You know, with hindsight, you look at the way. I mean, we sit up there on the balcony, and everyone sits in the crowd, and you sit in the commentary box, and you're making judgments on decisions that are being taken all the time. We often will see it differently to how the game's playing out. That's just the nature of what we do. People see the game differently at certain times, but I think I'm always keen, when I'm certainly as a head coach of a team, to give responsibility and accountability to the players. I think for the most part they've responded really well to that during this campaign, and they take that responsibility on. I think obviously it's very easy now to recognise, and we were sitting on the balcony thinking that once you need 23, 24 off the last, you close that out with your death bowler. But you could easily have said that about the 49th over as well, and the 49th over was a really effective over. So, I suppose, of course, we can sit here and say we should have done this and we could have done that, but we'll do that all the time anyway, and sometimes you just have to acknowledge that either we didn't execute what we were trying to execute in the last over, or we got it wrong, and you learn from it. And I think in isolation, once you get to that point with the last over, then you try and close that out with your death bowler, and that will probably be a key learning for us. But at the same time, if he hits it down to mid-on's throat, and they'd got us into that position, to be honest. Crofty and Wellesley Bales had been brave bowling them through the 40s, and we were sitting there thinking, geez, I'm not sure about this, couple in the stand, and they get us to that position. So, you can analyse that all you like, and at the end of the day, it is what it is, and we will obviously learn from it, and just pretty gutting, really.
I guess doubly gutting that it's average points per game rather than actual points you've won, or does that not really come into it?
Not really, no. I mean, we knew the situation, and we came here today knowing that really a win, we couldn't rely on, I think, 3 results going our way. We needed the win, and we were 100% focused on that right throughout. And really, clearly, I think we got the worst of the conditions today, and the wicket was difficult for the first 20 overs, and then Crofty, to his credit, he batted superbly well with a couple of young lads, and George, and then Lammy doing his thing at the end to get us into a competitive position. So without Crofty's 91 today, or we're not even posting a competitive total, and he's crushed up there at the minute, because he's going to take the last over pretty badly. But without that 91, we don't even post a competitive score. So I think to show the fight we did, and to stay in the game for as long as we did, and to take it down to the last 2, which we never saw coming at the 40th over, is testament to the unit, really. I think the one thing I would say is I'm really proud of the way they've played as a team throughout this campaign. It's been very enjoyable to watch, and I definitely feel like there's been some growth in the team and some individuals, and that's important.
Yeah, to broaden it out a little bit, Mark, I mean, with the exception of 1 or 2 who are quite experienced, there's a lot of guys that have not played much one-day cricket, and they've gone through a group campaign and they've almost kind of qualified. I guess they can take at least something from that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's hard to do at the minute, but you're quite right that really when we reflect on the competition, I might have said to you before, I've actually found it a really enjoyable competition to work and coach, because there's no distraction around. You see how players get pulled into, whether it's international cricket or they're working into franchise cricket or IPLs. There's a lot of stuff going on in the cricket sort of space at the minute, and this this competition actually has really worked with regards to motivating a group towards, well, let's see what we can do in this comp, because there hasn't been any other distraction, and they've responded very well to that. And we have got some good young players, and I think the way you saw George Lavelle play today shows the quality that is in him, and ready to get exposed more, and for us to see him more. And I think Jack Morley's had a fantastic campaign as well. He's bowled beautifully in all the games, and he'll have taken a huge amount from it. So, when we sit down and reflect on the comp as individuals and as a team, then there's huge positives out of it. At the minute, it doesn't really feel like that.
Do you think it's benefited from playing alongside the 100 because of opportunities created, or not?
Yeah, I mean, it's a wider debate, that, isn't it? I'm not really. I don't quite see the logic in us now missing out and then effectively not playing again till 2 weeks today, in the middle of August, in the middle of the summer. That just seems illogical to me. I know there's lots of debate, and we've talked about this before about the structure, and that's raging in the papers every single day with what's happening. But for me, having effectively a 2 week period now, and if you're not in that quarter final, if teams aren't in the T20 quarter final and they're out the 50, they've got even longer. They've got over 2 weeks of not doing anything, which seems ludicrous, really. We might go to Mallorca for a week. So, I mean, obviously we're not, but we'll get some practice in. We'll bring our players in, but I don't quite see the logic in that. I see the logic in something running underneath if the 100 stays here, and giving opportunity to, let's call it a development competition or whatever you like. But you see the quality that some of these young players at Lancashire and broader afield. There's been some great performances from young players across the country, and that can only be a good thing.
How do you prepare for a T20 quarter final away at Taunton without playing for 2 weeks?
You haven't thought about that yet, Scott.
That sounds tricky to do.
Yeah, well, we find a way, because you learn in county cricket. I mean, one of your key skills is you've got to be adaptable and flexible to the situation that's put in front of you. Everyone acknowledges that, and you find solutions rather than look for problems. So we will sit down as a management team and think, right, well, how's the best prep going to look like, and we'll take a few days off to begin with. And, I think the bowling loads is the key thing, keeping the bowlers up and running, just to try and avoid any injuries and all that sort of stuff. But rest assured that we'll prepare in an appropriate way to look forward to that game down at Taunton.
Yeah, I suppose your T20 side does look different to this team, doesn't it, with the guys coming back from the 100, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly, and see how the 100 plays out, and obviously everyone's at different teams, and who's going to be there till the death, and we've got a week or so for all that to figure itself out. So just let that all happen, find out who's involved with England, find out who's not injured, who's available. You find that a lot of your planning, if you do your planning too early, then it changes a week later. So really just let everything play out over the next period, keep the players that are here up and running, and I've no doubt that in the lead up to the Taunton game we'll get exactly what we need to go down there fully prepared and to look forward to that game.
Cool.